you going? I thought I would quickly pop on while I was home by myself and it's a bit quieter and I can consider what I'm going to say to you, because I want to do a little short video about how it feels to be diagnosed with cancer, which is what happened to me in 2011. So I guess being diagnosed with cancer is really quite a scary situation to find yourself in. It's not something that anybody wants to have at all. I mean, why am I even saying that? But for me, when I had my cancer diagnosis, it's almost like the world is running on slow speed and you're caught up in that running on fast speed, if that makes any sense. I remember that I was fairly rushed through any tests that I needed to have. There was no waiting. I didn't have to wait 2 hours for this or 4 hours for that. That came later. But when the medical professionals are trying to find out what is wrong with you, they rush you through any situation. So I guess that's the one solace out of having a diagnosis of cancer. You're looked after really well by the medical profession in my country anyhow. I had a lovely, gentle man. He was a Scottish hematologist. I had a blood cancer. I had lymphoma, and it was diagnosed after a very long time. It took 9 weeks for my diagnosis to be a diagnosis. And in that time, I had to get over a rather large surgery to take my spleen out. And my spleen was, on diagnosis, was 2 kilos, and your spleen ought to be about 80 grams. But what I can say, looking back on that time, if I reflect on that time, doctors working at that level are just another species. They're so gracious, they're so considerate of their patients, they're so full of knowledge, they're so, I guess, thinking on their feet, and so full of information, so full of the correct information. If you ask questions, they have the answers right there. And also, I know for me, I was mindful of the fact that I was able to choose my choice of treatments. So nothing was ever pushed on me or told me that I must do this or I must do that. So I chose to have a immunotherapy treatment called rituximab or Mepsira. And I've talked in a few videos just lately about cells and cell reception. And my lymphoma cell had a protein on the outside called a CD20 protein. And the research and the studies and the development of Mepsira meant that the drug, which is under the chemotherapy banner, would attach to that CD20 protein and lock into place. And that then flagged the immune system to say, come on, this guy is not a friend. We need to destroy him. And the immune system came along and knocked all those cells out of my body. Marginal zone B cell lymphoma is the correct diagnosis for me, is an indolent cancer. So it means that it's a very, very slow growing cancer. So generally chemotherapy, as far as I understand, is more available to fast growing cells, which is why people generally lose their hair and eyelashes, and because they're fast turnover cells, and my lymphoma cells were slow turning over cells. So what does it mean for me? It meant Mepsira at the time in 2011. It meant Mepsira treatments, which was through my veins once a month for a year, which meant I had to stay in hospital for a year. Oh, no, not for a year. I had to go to hospital for a year once a month and have those treatments. And then it slowly changed to once every 2 months, gosh, from memory. And that continued for 3 years, that treatment. I'm pretty sure it was a 3-year turnaround. It might have been 2, but my memory is telling me 3. And then after that, I just have to go to the hematologist every 6 months and have a check. So we're coming up to, what are we, 2011, 2024, 13 years ago now, which, gee, that time's gone so quick. And this is the reason why I'm on this health journey, because that really shook my boots. I was only 48 when this happened. All I found was a lump next to my ribs, and I went to the GP, and it was just a roller coaster of tests and results and more scans and waiting time. Eventually, you do have to learn a lot of patience when you have a diagnosis or an illness, any chronic disease. You're at the mercy of the hospitals because they're there to help you. And it's quite a lesson of patience and graciousness and thankfulness and all of those things that you didn't know you needed to learn. You need to learn. So it was quite frightening. Like, it was very frightening, and I remember crying a lot and not really receptive to anyone asking me about how I was or telling me that I looked well, because it meant that I must have looked terrible the last time they saw me. So I think if you're working or you have someone close to you that's diagnosed with a cancer, it's time to just sit back and let them work out in their own mind how they're going to deal with this and how they're going to get through the treatment time, because no one knows what the outcome will be. And it's a real time of inner reflection. And I guess people say to me, how has it changed you? And I suppose for me, it's changed me to not really be very compassionate about people that have little things that I consider little things, which is not really fair, because all things are big things to the person that it's happening to. But what I consider small things, I don't really have time to give them any of me in that respect. And I suppose that's been doubly cemented in place when some of you might know that we've been through a fairly drastic situation with my daughter as well. She's now bilateral amputee. And I think when you have a few of these things happening in your life, it changes your perspective and it makes you more focused on keeping yourself well, keeping yourself motivated, keeping your mindset clean, keeping your mindset positive, because you have to move on from things. You have to find a way to cope through the mayhem. And a lot of that coping comes from the help that the medical system does give you. And a lot of that hope comes from your family. So having good supportive family members around you is something that's irreplaceable. It's a journey you can't really journey by yourself. You need to have something to look forwards to. And for me, that's my family now. You know, my kids have all grown. I have 8 grandbabies. My life is pretty good. I don't take any medication. And I just try and keep myself well. So that's why I'm on this journey. to try and encourage other people to look at themselves, be in the best health that you can. So should you at all ever succumb to a chronic disease or a physical change, that your body's in the best position it can be to get you through. You know, you have to be strong in your body to move you around. If you break a leg or a hip, you have to be able to move yourself in and out of your bed while you're getting better. You have to have that upper body strength to carry you. I mean, my daughter had to learn completely to walk again. So her fortitude and strength is just another level. I can't even explain to you how it feels to watch her be such a strong, courageous person. I'm hoping that perhaps my journey helped in some small way, helped her overcome her situation. But for me today, I just want to share with you that is a big journey to go through. And if you can stop yourself from having that situation develop in the first place, you need to stop that. If if you're suffering from diabetes and you can't feel your feet, you need to do something about that. It's not going to go away. No one is going to take that away for you. You have to do something about it for yourself, and that means changing your diet. There is a way out of that. You don't have to lose your feet to diabetes. It's hard to watch someone learn to walk again that has lost their legs, and we've been through it. I know what that looks like, and I know just from an outsider looking in what energy that takes. So if you have disease in your body, it's really nonsensical to me that you wouldn't try and do the best that you can for yourself to get out of that situation, whatever that looks like. It's your choice to make that for yourself. And that's what I had to do. I had to change the way that I eat, definitely. I had to keep my mind positive. I had to make sure that I got enough sleep. I exercised probably a bit too much, because what I've since learned is you also need to give your body time to get well. So if you're having chemotherapy, it's got to cope with that insult almost on its healthy cells as well. So you have to fill up with good nutrition and sunlight and stay away from sugars, and make a choice in your mind to do the best that you can for yourself. And that's my mantra, what I do for myself. I'm trying to make myself better all the time. I want to be here for a long time. I want to be here to look after my grandbabies and see them, grow and mature and find the career of their choice and make all of those decisions. I want to watch how they make those decisions and how they come to find their journeys in life. It's something that I really want to be here to do. And some people don't get that choice. They've already gone and left. They've already left us in this world, and they've gone on to whatever we don't know, whatever there is out there. So I guess this video is about being mindful of someone that's had a cancer or is going through a cancer diagnosis or a chronic disease diagnosis of any type. I guess try not to ask too many questions. Always be there if they want to talk and they want to share with you how they feel. And just be mindful that there will be long delays in hospitals. There will be waiting times, and learning how to cope with that in a patient manner so that you're not fighting the system, but you're working with it to your own benefit. Yeah, but life is good. Life is good now. I'm okay. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm looking forward to sharing many more videos with you over the time. So thanks for listening, and I hope to speak to you or share with you again. Like my videos, subscribe to my channel, find me on my podcast, because I'm interviewing people all the time on different aspects of life. And I'd like to touch base and get to know you all. Talk to you again soon. Bye.